today I'm going to be showcasing my Minecraft map, and it's pretty much a mini game, so it's pretty fun, at least in my opinion. I spent like a week working on this, but in this episode I'll be showing you the rules and roles and stuff like that. So let's get into it. Okay, so first of all, these computers, you have to hack them to win, or at least for the survivors. Once you hack every single computer, you collect one. I added an extra so campers can't just camp a computer. The front doors will exit. Well, technically, both doors. There's one right here in the opposite side of the map, that direction. But they'll open, survivors can escape, and the monster loses. The monster's goal is obviously to just kill the survivors. But to hack the computer, all you have to do is just go on this pressure plate, and then watch this go up. Once this goes up, this will happen, and there you go. We've hacked the computer. Just 5 more to go. But I did make it where if there's more monsters, no, like the less survivors, the less computers you have to hack, which just makes it easier. Since it's a 1v1, it's not that easy if there's all the computers but one. So I helped with that. So once you start out the game, you load here, and then here are the survivor, like the rules for everything. Here's some lore, and then click the start button. Here is the selection area. The green signs means that I've had to survive a role. The red one means it's a monster role. And I do have a neutral role here called the Psycho, who just has to hit everybody with their dirty needle, and then they win. Well, I won't really go into detail with that, but I might later. But first of all, let's show you the cameraman. So when you go in an area, it'll make this block red or green, depending on which side you're on, or orange if you're neutral, and it'll give you a start item. Drop items to use them. If there's more players, it will give you a wait item, but since it's just me, it just starts the game. So here's the camera. What the camera does, it lets me see farther, which is nice, temporarily at least. And you have the monster cam. What this does is it teleports you to the monster in spectator mode, and it temporarily, but since it's just me right now, it just makes me free roam spectator. It won't do that if there's other players. We have the smoke bomber. We have a camera that does the exact same thing, and the smoke bomb, which if we use, turns invisible. The only reason you can slightly see me while invisible is only because of a team. So your fellow survivors can see you, but the monster cannot. So don't worry. Lastly, we have the monster wannabe. He gets a speed boost ability, which makes him slightly faster. Yep. Also, he can use the monster only vents, but I'll get into that later when I talk about the monsters. If you come over here, behind this painting, you have a healer role. All the healer does is heals others around them, and if they are healing others, they also get healed. Now we have the monster roles, the hunter. So when you choose the monster role, you'll be here for a while until you're released. So you get a slightly stronger speed boost, at least compared to the monster wannabe. Go much faster, or slightly faster. And you have the all-seeing eye, which temporarily lets you see the survivors, but since no one's on the server right now, you can't see anything. And every monster has the ability to just go on top of vents, and it teleports them to other monster vents. Which the monster wannabe is the only survivor that also has this ability. The sabotager. Sabotager has a computer virus when used. It makes all the pressure plates go away. And the poisonous vent, when used, it doesn't let the survivors use the vents. So something I forgot to mention is that the survivors, when they go through vents, they'll teleport right through them. But, so usually survivors would just camp this area, wait here. The monster goes, teleports here. When he comes here, it just keeps doing this, which I found annoying. So I added a thing where the monster can still go through vents, but it's much slower. They'd have to do this to go through. for the sabotager when they use the poisonous fence. The survivors can still go through it, but just as slowly like this. Lastly, the Wither. The Wither acts a little different. He can't punch the players, but it does poison or a withering effect when he's near a player. And if he's near a player, he can use his slowness ability, which will give him slowness. For our neutral role, we have the Psycho. He will instantly start over here and will have a Dirty Needle. So to actually attack people, instead of punching them, you'd have to drop it, like an ability. You instantly get it back. But by the way, if you spam this, it drops, so you have to re-pick it up, and if you let a survivor picks it up, I think you just lose. So just don't spam it. For those who have realized, I have a restart item. This is only given to me, or people with the name, your username CapClimb, which, unless you use a plugin or something to give it, to like change your name to CapClimb, no one will have this item. The only purpose of this item is just to restart. It just restarts the game. It's mainly there just to help me like test things out instead of manually restarting the game. But you can also use the restart item, well not item, but button, by going here, or right here. This is mainly used for players who, an example, wanted to be the monster or something, but accidentally walked into the cameraman. So another player who's playing just comes over here, clicks it, and it will restart everything. But you can only use it in those areas. You cannot restart the game during game, unless you use commands or stuff like that. You've probably noticed these areas. Those are called hiding spots, where if you go in them, you become invisible, which is nice. Next, we have medkits. So conveniently, I was taking damage from a monster who I was running away from. So come over here, click it, and you get a medkit. These medkit areas are one-time use per game, and there's 2 around the map. If you use the medkit, just drop it, and it heals you. Pretty simple. Once the game ends, it will display who's the winner, monster, survivor, or psycho. But since I have the restart item, for some reason, it will always restart and say the monster wins, but don't worry, that won't happen in your game because you do not have the restart item, unless you give it to yourself. There's hidden areas around the map, and there's also hidden shulkers around the map, which gives you books, which has lore in them. And if you see these 2 items, you will have the resource pack for them, but they do not do anything in this game because they are for my sequel or prequel, who knows. But I'll be showing you some clips of that right now. Thank you all for watching this video. And if you want to download the map, I will add a download button in the description below if this video hits 5 likes. And don't forget, darkness will consume.